order. Is there any public input? None, okay. Next thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes of December 18th.
So moved.
Second?
Any errors or omissions?
I have one. I believe Eric presented for the elementary school last time, and I just wanted to make a note to add his presentation for Lakeway under the reports.
And I have one, first page, bottom, accept, that we
Oh, yeah.
accept. Tongue-tied here.
I think that kind of changes the meeting, doesn't
Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
So moved.
it? Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next thing on the agenda is the manifest. I believe they're going around. Budget hearing discussion is under unfinished business.
Okay, I just emailed you the presentation, the link to the presentation. If you don't mind just checking your email real quick, and I'll get you to the presentation that we've been working on for a bit.
Let's see.
How do you do that so fast, Jim?
It's quick at it, it just jumped.
How do we do it? Are there any major changes we should watch for, Steve, or?
Oh, not major, just updates when if it's I worked on it quite a bit today, so it is somewhat different. It's getting more up-to-date information as it comes in. I guess I just wanted, and I did reorder things quite a bit, where I kind of started out with kind of an overview of programs and things that were happening at the schools, and then follow that up with information.
Before you get here,
Yeah,
I want to discuss it. So,
right. So I guess there's that, and then we just need to talk about the budget in general. There's some things that some direction I need to make sure that whatever I present on Wednesday is the consensus of the board. So I guess with that piece of it, where we left off, my understanding was that we were leaving the general fund budget as it is, with the addition of the warrant articles that would come out of the negotiated agreements, which, on one hand we say we're not raising the budget, but of course we are raising the budget when you take into account the warrant articles. I think we have to be upfront about that. Although, yeah.
we can discuss them later, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
I put in, again, the information with enrollment, expected warrant articles, information that we'll need ahead of Wednesday. So, and I guess the other thing that is in the budget that we've talked about in various at various times is certain things that relate to facilities upgrades, specifically the ceiling, the gym. At this current time, it's still in the budget as we have it now, but that's something that we're going to need some directions. I'm going to need some consensus from the board going into Wednesday how you want that to look. If you want that to be included, if you don't, if you do want it to be included, how, whether that's a separate warrant article, whether that's a part of the general fund budget. Those are, and there's any number of things within the budget we can certainly talk about going into Wednesday. I also know that part of what, Wednesday is about is giving at least a budget as we've worked on to this point, and allowing people to ask questions, comment, say, yes, we should spend more there or less there, or change this or change that, so.
I'm gonna feel more comfortable if, normally I think what we do is we have that in front of us page by page and go through it and then make our notations and comments. I am no way ready to go to Wednesday with just looking at it like that.
But you've got the budget, it's in the,
You
it's
got
in the
your
drive.
presentation,
What's that?
your presentation is what you're showing us tonight?
Yeah, but the budget, the actual budget document is, as we've been looking at for a while, is
Well,
in the
yeah.
drive. The page by page, the 79 pager, if you will.
And that's what we're looking at right now, is
Uh-huh.
what you, okay.
Yeah, just what we talked about leading up to that.
I still, so are we not gonna get together before we do Wednesday, or? I mean, do we just take that and show
That's what
up?
we're doing here.
That's what we're doing right now.
Right now, we're doing that.
Yeah,
Oh,
So
and you're
this-
okay with that?
this
Okay.
is, what he's showing you here
Uh-huh.
is what he wants to use as the presentation for Wednesday night, correct?
Yes,
We
Okay.
did get sent some other budgetary papers today. So if you all have copies of them, I don't know if you do or not.
Just what was on the table, right, Dawn? Yeah.
Yeah, are they all the same ones that was?
yeah, but the main budget, the 79 page budget was in the drive, and had, and I mentioned
Right.
it in the,
Me
yeah, the
too.
notes to you all last Friday.
I'm not
actually.
hearing that.
So, I guess if you wanted to take out that budget and go through it, that's what you wanna do, we can do that now.
Mhm.
Don't we normally do that meeting?
What?
We don't normally do that meeting on camera and,
No, we don't, as
We usually have a
so
work session or
should
something.
this be something we do in non-public is my question? Because we haven't finalized, we haven't agreed on some of the stuff.
No,
So I almost think we need to get through the regular public agenda,
okay,
go into non-public, and then have a chance to
just do a
make
brief work session,
adjustments.
okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I agree.
Everybody else agree?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's some personnel things too.
Okay. All right, so I guess we'll forego that for
Okay.
a minute. There isn't any new business that I'm aware of. Any personnel?
Oh, we had a meeting scheduled, but due to unforeseen circumstances on my behalf, we had to cancel, so we'll reschedule.
Okay. Geez, I gotta get back to where I was going here. So the next thing, facilities. Do you guys have any meetings or anything you need to report on? Okay. So, the things that we do have to agree on tonight is, policy EFAA school lunch program, which is for second read and adoption. The heck? I don't know what I did. Right. Okay, so policy EFAA is up for second read and adoption. Do I hear a motion to accept?
So moved?
Do I hear a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And then the next policy is ILD, which is non-education surveys and questionnaires. That's for a second reading and adoption tonight.
I make a motion that we accept policy ILD for adoption tonight.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Superintendent's report.
Okay, just fairly short tonight. Last week was interesting, to say the least, with the weather, with it being a short week to start with. We actually, going back, we ended the pre-Christmas part of the schedule or the year having to dismiss early, and that's never an ideal situation, but that's what we did. Then we come back, of course, to the extreme cold weather and a late arrival on that Tuesday, and then it gave us a day break, and then the big storm, which was, you know, when they start calling for the storm to hit after school is in session, as they did on Thursday, and you know, it's never a matter of can we get them there. At least in that case, it wasn't a matter can we get everybody into school, get things started. It's a matter of what do we do after. And do we stay the whole day and hope that the conditions don't get worse? Do we dismiss early? So we decided not to go at all on Thursday. Then of course Thursday evening into Friday it wasn't great. Come Friday morning either, so we delayed a little bit. I muddied the waters, admittedly, a bit on Thursday by allowing a couple of basketball practices to happen. I won't do that again. I think I explained it, but it doesn't really, you know. I've always looked at that from a very, very practical standpoint, and that is, as I explained, I think, to you in a communication, that I didn't feel it was prudent to bring 730 people on campus or students on campus and 100 and some employees on campus at the beginning of the day and throughout the day. But as I've done in other places I've been, we've kind of used things on a case-by-case basis. Problem with that, I don't think I need to expand on that too much. For one thing, not all teams and activities necessarily were given equal access to that time, so that's not good. But I do agree it does send some mixed signals, so I won't do it again. Mea culpa. We did what we needed to do at the time, but it probably wasn't the best thing to do. Warren Street, I did send you out the very brief document that we just got today. Sent it to you as soon as I had it, literally. And you know, I think with that, and again, this isn't it. This is simply what they did, what they said they would do, is to give us the best information, at least in a very broad sense, by this date. But there's certainly, Kirk is certainly willing, not only willing, but wants to come to a future board meeting to describe what he saw in more detail. But I know my conversations with him on the phone was, my gosh, the doors are all falling down that place, the windows are terrible. Second floor has its own set of concerns, as you know, and it's located on a busy street, and you know, he went on and on. Bottom line is, it'll take quite a few resources to bring up to standard in terms of safety, in terms of educational standards, most of the things that we know already. But this is starting to put numbers to it, numbers from individuals who work with schools all the time and look at different options that schools have. So I know that'll be a big part of the discussion going forward. The other thing I want to share with you is not the greatest news in the world, that with respect to enrollment projections. This, I'm gonna send around, first of all, this is a document we got a year ago, fall of 2016, from NASDAQ, which does a projection of enrollments, and then we got the follow-up here before Christmas, last fall, and which I'm going to send around to you now, the 2017 projection. So a year ago, we were looking at, according to projections, about an 8.2% decrease in student population between the years 16-17 to 26-27. Now, a year later, that projected drop in enrollment's more than doubled to about 16.5%, and that's from year 17, 18 to 27, 28. I think that this is probably part of a bigger set of demographics that they are working with, which I saw some time ago, which was many states in New England are showing significant projected loss in K-12 enrollment over the next 10 years. I think Connecticut was among the highest, up over 15%. Even Massachusetts, which has typically had a growing enrollment, was showing some decrease. So my guess is that some of those regional factors are starting to play in a little bit more and affect their projections a little bit more. But having said that, it's a bit startling to see the numbers significantly different from just 1 year's difference. So I wanted to print out those two sheets for you to look at, to ponder. And you know, I think it's important that we look at that. How much basis we put in on the latest projection, I guess, you know, time will tell. A lot changed in a year, at least according to their forecast methods and where they thought things were going. And of course, it's always, you know, it's always better to have stable enrollment. We'll see what happens. We beat our enrollment projections for this year by a bit. And although next year's kindergarten class isn't looking terribly big, so we'll have to see what happens going forward. And that's all I have for right now for my report.
Anything else? So, I'd entertain a motion to go into non-public.
Sorry, hang on.
Huh?
Hang on, I'll get
He's
this.
hurrying.
Hurry, you want this?
Time change set us all.
Should have it. Yeah, I might need it. Thank you. Anybody can read that, by
It's your job.
the way. I'll make a motion to enter into non-public session under paragraph 2, section 3 of the RSA 91A:3 of the right to know law for number 2, the hiring of any person as a public employee. Number 3, that matters that would adversely affect the reputation of any person other than a member of the board.
That's it.
That's it. Taking with us the superintendent,
Business manager and the clerk.
business manager, and Patty.
Okay. Did you do anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, good.
Second?
Lucky guy.
All in favor, roll call vote.
Greg Cook?
Kim Woodson.
Millie Nelson?
Jim Adams?
And Wiggett.